Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is all about the connection between you and the person on your mind. So this can be any person, any type of connection. We are going to see what is currently going on between the two of you and what your future holds. I think this is one of my favorite topics to do, so I'm really excited to get into it. Before we do, I did want to let you guys know that I have a new song out today, which is called Gemini. As some of you might know, will forever be my favorite sign. Gemini is probably the song that is closest to my heart out of all of the songs I've ever put out. In this song, I'm singing to someone I love, someone I looked up to who is not there anymore. And because I can't accept that, I look for signs of them everywhere I go. I want to somehow convince myself that they're still here. But in the end, I realize that I'm not going to find this person by looking for some signs or synchronicities out there, because what I'm really longing to feel is their soul. It's their essence, which is always there, and really the lives of everyone that this person influenced is the greatest proof that they existed and that they are still here and that their beautiful soul is still living. We will make sure of that. If we carry on embracing our passions and following the dreams that they inspired, then they will live forever. So, oh gosh. Obviously, this is written about someone who inspired and supported me very much when I was just a kid and feeling alone and feeling weird. And because of this person's influence, I was able to find a home in Japan and live a beautiful life there. And I got to meet so many amazing friends too, and just become even more passionate about music, especially music composition and production. I prepared a lyric video for this song with the help of Kristina Georgieva, who is an amazing intuitive artist who also makes oracle decks that I've used on this channel. So it was really special to be able to collaborate with her on this. Hi, it's me from the future. I just got back the final version of the lyric video and I'm so happy with it, and I was just watching it back and I forgot to mention that another reason this project is so special to me is because it actually includes part of a voice note that Aso sent me. For those of you who don't know, Asotero, Madison and I have a really special friendship, and she sent me this voice note that was really sweet while I happened to be working on the song, and I just got the idea to include it and it stayed in there. And so there's a little part of her in this song as well. If you would like to check that out, I'm gonna have it down below in the description and in the pinned comment. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported my music until now, and I'm sending you guys so much love, and let's get on to the reading.
Drops of hope, I see you shine like the stars on that spring night. Through the dark, I realize that I don't need.
Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is going to be a deep dive into the connection between you and your person. This reading is for all types of connections, so your person can be anyone who is on your mind. And whether you need clarity about what is going on in this connection, or maybe you just need some confirmation, perhaps even you are needing some closure, whatever it is that you may be looking for, I hope that you can find messages that will help you in this reading. We're gonna look at both the current energies of what's going on in your connection from both a human perspective and a soul perspective, and then we're gonna look into the future timeline of events of what is likely to happen based on the current energies. So there are 4 groups for you to choose from today, and I'm gonna be using a different tarot deck for each group. I've also placed a different crystal on top to help you pick, and I'm going to be showing you a card from each deck so that you can get a sense for what the artwork is like. Sometimes I pick a card like to show you the same card from each deck, but I did not do that today, so I'm just going to be showing you whatever card is on the top of the deck right now. So when you're choosing your group, you could be drawn to the front artwork, the back artwork, the crystal, or the actual card that appears for you. So there's a few different factors to help you choose. If you are drawn to more than one group today, that is totally fine. There could be messages for you about the same connection in multiple groups, or there could be messages for you about different connections in your life. But with all that being said, let's give you a close-up look at each of your options. Group number 1, you have this Fluorite, and we're going to be using the Ostara Tarot. And your card is the Knight of Pentacles. For group number 2, we have this Selenite, and we're going to be using the Wee Moon Tarot. And your card is the Ten of Fire, Embracing the Universe. Group number 3, for you, we have this Carnelian. We are going to be using the Art of Love Tarot. And your card is the Five of Stars, Diversity. And group number 4, for you, we have this Rose Quartz. We are going to be using the Starchild Tarot, Akashic Edition, and your card is the Three of Cups. Okay, so just in case you need a bit more time to pick, these are all of your options laid out side by side so that you can compare them and see which one is calling to you the most. As always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the Fluorite and the Ostara Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So here is the full breakdown of the reading that we're going to be doing today about the connection between you and your person. So we have the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended today. And here on YouTube, we're going to start by looking at the current energies. So this is my little diagram, if that's what you call it. We are going to lay out cards on top to represent your 5D connection, and then the bottom row is going to represent your 3D connection, and we're going to see your energy, your person's energy, and then the overall energy between the two of you will be in the middle. Then once we see the current energies, we're going to move into the future and see what is happening next between you and your person. So this is going to be like a timeline of events starting at the present moment and moving into the near future. And we are going to be just looking at the 3D connection for this part. So what is happening between your human selves on Earth. And then in the extended reading, we are going to look more into the long-term future. So the future energies that we see here, are these energies going to change? Are they going to keep growing? Are they going to stay the same? What does your long-term future hold with this person? We are also going to see significant time frames within the connection based on the current energies. And then we'll finish off with messages from your person. And we're going to get messages both from their 3D self as well as their 5D self. So messages from their human self and messages from their soul, essentially. So that is the reading that we have today. Without further ado, let's get into it. I'm actually going to set aside this tarot deck for now. We're going to start off the energy check with oracle cards. So your cards are going to go here. Your person's cards are going to go here. I just saw 222, by the way. And if you feel like the energies are reversed, this sounds more like your person, this sounds more like you, it is totally fine to switch them around. You may even find that you resonate with the energy on both sides, which is a strong sign that you and your person are mirroring each other. However, if you don't see your energy anywhere in this spread, then this is probably not your group. But anyway, let's get into it. So your 5D connection, the energy on your side is represented by retrograde, and the flow dragon, and it says to get into a good flow, and we have the number 33. On your person side, we have black body, and we have the auspicious dragon with the number 30, and it says an unbelievable miracle will happen. And then the card to represent the energy between the two of you is number 22. Isn't that cool? Because I just saw 222 earlier. So that's probably a very important number in your connection. We have the waning gibbous moon and wisdom. Okay. Then for your 3D connection, on your side, we have wait time. We have patience. On your person's side, we have trust. And door to personal healing and happiness. And then the card to represent the energy in between the two of you is figs with vitality. Okay, we are going to start up here with your 5D connection. I love that we have this number 22 in the middle. If you don't see this number already, keep a lookout for this number because your person's higher self probably communicates to you with this number, or your spiritual team delivers you messages about this connection with repeating twos. We have wisdom in the middle. So this tells me that both of you are wise souls, and that likely, I do think that you have been together for many lifetimes. And you will be together for several more in the future as well. And you are equally wise, you are equally powerful, but you have different strengths. And you have paired up to teach each other what you know. Like, oh, this is so symbolic. Like, we have this boat, which represents a journey. So your two souls are definitely on a spiritual journey together. We have the books representing knowledge, and the ladder and the way this person is reaching up to the sky. It's like you share the knowledge that you have accumulated from your past lifetimes with each other to help each other advance and to lift each other up. So it's a very beautiful, mutually beneficial relationship, and I think that you teach them and help them as much as they teach you and help you. What I will say is that this is current energy. So I think that at this current moment between your soul and their soul, you are the one who is teaching them something right now. However, this is also benefiting you. The way I'm seeing it with retrograde is that you are currently teaching your person a spiritual lesson that you have already learned. However, this is helping you review it. You know, like when you teach someone something you already know, there's that expression, the best way to learn something is to teach it. And I feel like you helping your person learn this lesson right now, it's like an excellent review for you. It's like a way to brush up on the material, so to speak. And maybe going back and picking up things that you missed. So if you think of spiritual lessons as like a textbook, maybe you already read chapter 3 ages ago, but now you're helping your person with chapter 3 and you're like, oh my gosh, I missed this. I missed this when I was studying it. Like, let me put that tidbit of information in my head and remember it. So you going back to things you've already covered in previous lifetimes is actually benefiting both of you. I also think it's very interesting. You have the number 33. I wonder if you could be like a life path 33 or 22 or 3 or 2, or your person could be. But this is the number of the Empress. So it's a very giving and nurturing energy. And I think that right now your soul is giving a lot to your person's soul, giving a lot of knowledge and giving a lot of wisdom. And they have a lot to give to you as well. But in this current energy, they also have the energy of the Fool. So there's an element of a clean slate, inexperience. You could be helping your person's soul right now with something that they really don't have a lot of experience in. And with black body, I believe that this is a similar energy to a black hole, which just absorbs anything that comes its way. And so I'm seeing this as your person's soul just like eagerly soaking up all of the wisdom that you are sharing. The thing about the black body is that it absorbs really fast. It absorbs in like 2 seconds. Well, probably a lot faster than that. But it takes a long time to emit something. So the gap between the time that it receives something and then gives something back is very big. So your person right now is in a major energy of receiving, and you are in a major energy of giving. And it might take quite a bit of time before the roles reverse and your person is giving back to you. How this might reflect in the 3D is that it takes a long time for your person to learn lessons, but once they do, they've really, really got it. An example that's coming to my mind is actually like an infant who is not speaking yet, and it's taking them a long time. And adults around them might be concerned, but actually they're absorbing everything. Like they're just taking everything in. And they might start to speak kind of late, but once they do, they're like speaking full sentences and they won't stop talking. And I feel like that's kind of how your person learns spiritual lessons, or how your person heals. It's like they need a long time of just receiving and absorbing and taking everything in. And the person who is helping them or teaching them may have to be really patient with them. But then once they've got it, they've got it. And they have a really, really deep understanding. I just knocked the table by accident. They have a really, really deep understanding. And I honestly feel like in your person's life, it may be easy for others to lose patience with them or give up on them, because they don't understand that in this waiting time, they're not doing nothing. They're not failing to register things. They're not failing to process things. They are very much on the inside taking it all in, and they're really listening and they're really trying. It just takes longer for them to emit something. It takes longer for them to output something. But once they do, they've got it better than everyone else. That's kind of like their learning style. A lot happens behind the scenes for a long time, and then it just explodes out. I feel like that's how their growth works as well. You know, like when they're trying to master something, they'll try it 100 times and it looks awful. And then on the 101st time, they've suddenly mastered it. That's kind of how your person's growth works. And I feel like your spiritual teams or your souls decided to pair up because of the compassion that you can have for each other's learning styles and the patience that you can have with each other. I just saw 11:55. So you help each other change. You help each other experience breakthroughs through having the compassion and understanding for what the other needs to really internalize lessons. And so I do feel like in your current energy, you're in a role where you are sharing knowledge with them and being quite patient with them as they really chew on it and as they really process everything. That's so cool. So if we look at your 3D energy, I think it's very telling that you have 2 cards that denote patience. Like this is literally patience, and then we have wait time, which also very much feels like a message of needing patience. Another thing I'm noticing is that on your end, both of the cats are facing away, and even this dragon is facing away. And I think there's maybe a lesson that the lessons you teach this person do not always require your active attention and your active participation. Sometimes it's your silence that teaches them. Sometimes it's your distance or your absence that teaches them. Sometimes it's your moving on that teaches them. So I guess your spiritual team doesn't want it to feel like this burden of, I need to be helping my person. I need to be teaching my person. I need to be like consciously giving and feeding my energy to them. In the 3D, you could be moving on, living your best life, doing your own thing, and energetically, you are still teaching them something very valuable. This is not an act of giving that has to drain you. It's something that you give to them by just existing. And that's why, I feel like that's why you've chosen to pair together, because there's something about your energies that you can help each other in a beautiful way just by being around each other. Your mere existence is like a wealth of knowledge to them, and their mere existence is a wealth of knowledge to you. Just by living your life in a natural way, you are fulfilling your mission of teaching each other. It's not something that you really have to force. And that's why you chose to incarnate together for all these lifetimes, or your spiritual teams helped you pair up. It's like, it feels like beautiful, symbiotic kind of relationship. I do wonder if there's a lull, so to speak, in the connection in the 3D right now because of this winter scene and just the words waiting and patience. You may kind of be in, because we have a wintry looking scene. We also have a spring looking one, and we have a waning moon, which means some energy is on its way out. So it's like you're in a winter with this person, but it's in the process of melting. The winter is in the process of melting and turning into spring, where things are going to start to move forward. There's going to be motion, but it requires patience. All of the creatures on your side are looking away. On their side, all of the creatures are moving towards you. So I do think in the 3D connection, it is you who is, I don't really like the word waiting, because waiting implies that something is put on hold. And I don't think that you have to put anything on hold to allow this connection in. I think you can very much keep living your life and keep doing your thing. But I think it is important that they come towards you. They will be the one to come towards you. With vitality here, that lets me know that this connection is still very much alive and well. So even if you are going through a lull, even if you are going through a period of no contact or minimal contact, or you're not together in the 3D, that doesn't mean that your connection is like losing steam or losing energy or dying out. That's not the case at all. This is Taurus energy. One or both of you could have Taurus placements, but I more so feel like this is talking about the sturdiness of the connection and the stability of the connection. So even if you were far apart or you didn't communicate for a long time, your feelings for each other and your appreciation for each other would never dwindle. It would still be like, I'm hearing fresh and fertile, interesting words, but it would still very much be alive and well. We also have the element of water here. So you or this person could have water placements as well. Maybe there's like a Taurus with a water moon, or a water sign with a Taurus moon. But in terms of your psychic connection, I do think you very much stay connected through gifts of clairsentience. So even if at a physical distance from each other, you're likely very well attuned to their emotions, their emotional experience, and probably vice versa. I'm just noticing too that the clock is on fire. It's like, I know I need to be patient, but man, like, it's burning at me. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, what I think is so interesting is they are moving towards you. I'm actually thinking of this creature as your person, and this is a spirit guide perhaps. And in order to move towards you and move towards this connection, they have to pass through the door of healing and happiness. So they have to embrace their healing and they have to embrace their happiness, which can be a difficult feat. In order to pass through this door, they need to trust. And so they have a spirit guide that is helping them. And I love that this is a dove because it represents like peace, but I also feel like it represents freedom. Personal healing is the key to their liberation, like emotional, mental, spiritual, perhaps even physical liberation. But they need trust to step over that threshold and to step through this door. And stepping through this door will ultimately lead them closer to this connection. It may feel like they're reluctant. It may feel like they're delayed, but from what we've seen in your 5D connection, it feels like they're still processing things. It's not like they're slacking on their healing or like they're not doing the inner work. It's just, as we saw in their design, it takes a long time for them to process. But then once they do get it, once it clicks for them and they take action, they really have it mastered. They really, really get it. So yeah, you may feel like you're in this energy where you're waiting for them and you're being patient. I feel like personally, I might, if you are doing this, I might challenge you or suggest to not view it as waiting. I just don't like that word, because waiting for someone implies that you're like putting your life on hold or something like that, or that you can't move forward until they come to you. And I just don't really see it that way. Or maybe it's like, to say you're waiting on someone or waiting for someone is maybe not the most healthy way to look at it. I don't know. But this just feels like no matter how much time goes by, your connection will still be strong. Your connection will still be robust. So I don't think you have to worry about missing out on it. And I think that they're processing things in their own time. And whether you're actively doing this or not, you are teaching them. Your higher self is sharing wisdom. And I think if you can trust in that and trust that even if things look stagnant, which they're not, but even if they look stagnant in the 3D, your higher selves are working together beautifully. So I just saw 2121, which I think is definitely a confirmation. That's the number of the world in tarot. So you could be at a physical distance with this person. You could literally be on the other side of the world, or you could be from different countries, different backgrounds. The world is also a sign of completion and things coming full circle. So you're already in the process of closing off the current cycle with them, closing off the winter season so that you can enter into spring. We're gonna get into your tarot now and see what the future holds for you. What is in the future for my group number ones and their person? That came out really, really fast. We have the Two of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, which is the card that came up for you guys in the intro when you were choosing your group. And actually, this is more Taurus energy. We have the Ten of Wands. then we have the Six of Swords. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords, which that makes so much sense because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. And you may have noticed, but the last cards to come out here were taking a really long time compared to the first ones. I wonder if this connection in the 3D was one that started off really fast. You know, like you met or you found out about each other and feelings developed really quickly and maybe things were moving really quickly in the beginning and then just suddenly slowed down, because that's what it felt like when I was pulling these cards. This came out in like 2 milliseconds and then this came out really soon after that, and then once we hit the halfway mark, the last card started to take a really long time. But we have the Knight of Swords at the end, which is like things speeding up again. Things are really, really slow, and it feels like an uphill battle. It feels like a lot of work. And then finally things get better. And then things start to move really, really quickly. And I feel like that just illustrates your person's energy so well. It's like things are building and building and building behind the scenes or within them, building and building and building, but you don't see anything externally until the very end, and then it's like an explosion of progress, an explosion of growth. I think that bears could be a significant spirit animal just because we have the image of bears repeating, and also snakes, because I think this is a water snake, and then we also had a snake here. This kind of looks like a bear as well. I don't know what this is, but it kind of reminds me of a bear. I really do feel a piece of advice to not push things or to not force things. I feel it's like let things unfold naturally, or let them come to you, because I feel like if you, and there's the winter energy again. I feel like if you tried to speed things up, or like if you tried to move things along from your side, it will likely feel like you're forcing it. It will feel like you're trudging through the snow. It will feel like you're pushing uphill. Even the whale, it feels like a lot of effort, because the Ten of Wands, which is a whale in this deck, the Ten of Wands is like a huge effort that can really exhaust you and that can really drain you. And actually, if you feel exhausted by this connection, I feel like it's actually not the connection that is exhausting you. It's the way you try to fight against what is currently happening, or the way you try to push things forward before it's time. Like that could be what is exhausting you. Yeah. I think that it's like trying to move against a current, or exhausting yourself by swimming because you want to get there faster. But if you were to just stop and let go, the current would carry you naturally. So what's exhausting you is not the current, it's the trying to swim and force things to move along faster. I feel like maybe, because this is the current moment, the Two of Swords, if we're going in a timeline. Libra moon could be a significant placement of you or your person. But some of you may feel on the fence about what to do with this connection, or you're unsure about how your person feels about you. And with the Knight of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands after it, it just gives me the feeling of doing a lot. I don't know how else to explain it, but rather than being like, I'm not sure what's going to happen, I guess time will tell, and just kind of being in the flow, like your card says, and just riding the wave through so that you can get to the point where you see what happens. It's like you're trying to get to the end faster so you can see what happens. And maybe there's a feeling of like kind of forcing things. And I'm also seeing the example of like someone trying to do a reading for themselves, but then they just keep pulling more and more and more and more because they feel like they're not getting an answer that satisfies them. And it's like, but you could get the answer if you just vibe and live through the time, and then you can eventually see what happens. And there's really not a feeling of something needing to be done on your part. It's kind of already secured. There's no feeling of like, what do I need to do to make this person like me, or to make this person come towards me, or what do I need to do to make myself worthy of this connection? Or there's nothing like that is coming up. I feel like all you need to do is believe that it's already yours and it's already secured for you, and like there's no need to be running around, or there's no need to be rushing. It just feels like exhausting a lot of your own energy because you're resisting the way things currently are, if that makes sense. And I think the best way to find out what's going to happen is to just keep naturally moving through life. I wonder if there's a period for one or both of you coming up where life is going to get quite busy. I wonder if it's for you. I feel like things could be getting quite busy at work, or there's like other things that you're dealing with, but it ends up being a good thing because I think it will kind of take your mind off of things and take your mind off of this connection. It feels like maybe there are some of you that are overthinking about things. And I don't say thinking too much in the sense that there's a prescribed amount that you should be thinking about the connection, and if you go over it, it's bad. But I mean thinking too much about it in the sense that it might be interfering with your well-being, or like getting the best of you in your day-to-day life, when your spiritual team is really encouraging you to just like keep flowing and keep living day by day. And so I feel like life might be picking up for you, and you might be getting busier in a good way, and find yourself thinking less about the connection, which is very okay and may actually be a good thing, because again, like we said before, whether you're actively investing in the connection or thinking about the connection or not, you're still helping them grow. You're still helping them heal. Your higher selves are still helping each other. Yeah, things are picking up for you. It's a good thing. And time is going to start to pass by really quickly. It's like, I just see you absorbed in different projects or different endeavors. And then the next thing you know, like months have gone by and you're like, what the heck? How did the time go by so fast? And the next thing you know, you're hearing from this person. And it's like, I see you getting a text from this person and looking back at all the time that has gone by and being like, oh my God, imagine if all this time I was like holding my breath and waiting for them every single day. It would have felt like forever. But because I was just doing my own thing and keeping busy, it didn't even feel that long. I can't believe it's been this much time. It's like, I can't stress it enough. The message is just like, life is picking up, you're booked and busy, you're doing your own thing. energetically, your higher selves are still working together. It's like it's the resistance to the flow that is exhausting you. It's not the connection. Like I just have to keep saying that. And then, yeah, like time will fly by. And the next thing you know, you're hearing from them. And the next thing you know, you're talking regularly. Both of these cards give me a message of communication. And this person is reaching out to you when they're in a much better place mentally. So they have passed through the door of healing and happiness. They have embraced their happiness. And maybe now the roles will reverse and they're teaching you like how to be in the flow. There may be travel involved as well because we have 2 boats. They may be moving closer to you, or you might be moving closer to them. I feel like they're coming towards you. The boats could also just be symbolic of the spiritual journey that they've been through and like the emotional journey that they've been through. But you're going to recognize that they're in a much better place and that it feels good to hear from them when they're in a good place. And that may also bring the realization of like it wasn't time to force things before because they weren't in the right headspace or like, and that's not to say you can't reach out to someone when you're not in a good place, but I just think they'll be feeling a lot more like themselves. They'll be feeling a lot more open. Like the energy between you will just feel a lot better when they initiate and they come to you from a good place that they're in. And after that, Knight of Swords. So this feels like a lot of catching up that will be done. I often see the Knight of Swords as like very long messages coming in with a lot of information, spanning a lot of time. So it's like just, you could be receiving really long voice notes from this person or they're texting you really long messages and just filling you in on everything they've been thinking about, everything they've been processing, which we know they process for a long time and they process thoroughly. And this represents the moment where they're just like spitting it all out to you and sharing everything with you. Like, this is everything I've been through all this time, everything I've wanted to share with you. And from this moment, this is when you will be in frequent communication with each other and you will start to grow closer and build intimacy really, really fast with them, because it's like you've already been building the intimacy on a soul level. And so now your 3D selves are just catching up. Like, you know, when you're in a video call with someone, and then they freeze for a few seconds, and then when they unfreeze, the video is like sped up so you see them moving really fast so that they catch up to where they actually are in the video call. It's kind of like that. So things are now going to start moving really, really fast between the two of you so that you can catch up in the 3D to where the place where your souls have reached in the connection, if that makes sense. So yes, I do think for a little while you may not be hearing from them a whole lot, or you may not be hearing from them at all, and that might like leave you feeling unsure and indecisive. But I really think that the advice from your guides is just like keep moving forward, keep pushing forward. And if that's difficult, like if it's difficult to just like focus on your life and tend to your business, I do think that life is going to be picking up for you with some quite exciting things that actually does just naturally take your mind off the situation and help patience be something that comes naturally and that doesn't feel like waiting or putting your life on hold or anything like that. And by the time you do hear from them, it'll be like, oh my gosh, like it won't feel like you've been waiting forever. Time is gonna fly, I promise you. And then you have this beautiful like frequent communication with them and building intimacy quickly. So things do look promising in the near future. So now we are going to move into the extended, where we see the long-term future of your connection. So will things continue to grow from here? Will they change? Will they stay the same? What's going on in the long term? We are going to see significant time frames for the connection based on the current energies. And then we're going to get a message from your person's 3D self and from their higher self. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, I'm going to have that link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment of this video. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you are watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number twos. So if you guys chose the Selenite and the Wee Moon Tarot, this is going to be your reading. I want to start off by showing you guys the full breakdown of the reading today. So we have the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended. Here on YouTube, we're going to start by seeing the current energies in your connection. So we're going to have a row of cards on top to represent the 5D connection and a row of cards on the bottom to represent your 3D connection. And then we're going to have your energy here, your person's energy here, and then in the middle will be the energy that exists between the two of you. Then once we see that, we're going to move into the future energies and see what will happen next between the two of you. We're going to look at this as a timeline of events from the present moment into the near future. And this, we're going to look at it from your 3D connection. So what is transpiring between your human selves? Then in the extended, we are going to look into the long-term future of your connection. So this energy that we saw in the YouTube reading, is this energy going to change in the long-term future? Is it going to keep growing? Is it going to stay the same? We are going to see significant time frames in your connection, and this will be based on the current energies. And then finally, we're going to get messages from your person. We're going to get both a message from their 3D self as well as their higher self. So that is the reading for today. And I actually want to just set your tarot deck aside for the time being, because we're going to start off with oracle cards to do your energy check. So like I mentioned, your cards are going to be here and your person's cards are going to be here. However, if you feel like your energies are switched, like that sounds more like your person, that sounds more like you, it is totally fine to switch the energies. You may even find that you resonate with both sides, and that's totally fine too. That's actually a strong sign that you and your person are mirroring each other. But if you don't see yourself anywhere in this spread, then this is likely not your group. But with all of that being said, let's get started. So for your 5D connection, your energy is being represented by matter and the gold dragon, card number 1. And it says oh, that's really cool, because this says like something is finally taking shape. Something is finally taking its form, and then we have matter. So I feel like those messages go together. Then for your person's energy, we have synchronous rotation. I don't know what that means, so we'll have to look in the guidebook for that one. Then we have the silver dragon. Okay. The gold dragon and the silver dragon, cards number 1 and 2. That is so freaking cool. And this says basically that your desired reality is going to come true. And then for the energy in between the two of you. We have boundaries with 333 as I'm holding up this card. Boundaries with... I'm about to get up and walk away. What the heck is going on with these synchronicities? Okay, look at this. We have the gold dragon and the silver dragon. 333 as I'm holding up this card. And look at how these numbers go together. 1, 1, 2, 2. There is intense mirroring going on between you and this person. This is very much giving like yin and yang, divine counterpart energy. Wow. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is look in the guidebook for the Cosmos Oracle, this one, because I'm not entirely sure what synchronous rotation means. Where is she? Okay, here we go. So it is on page 101. The two faces of the moon. Wow. Okay. Do you know where the expression the two faces of the moon comes from? Not a single day has passed or will ever pass where the moon shows its other face. The gravity of one body slows the orbit of another so that it always has the same face. The far side of the moon is the one we never see from the Earth. We always see the same side as the moon rotates at the same speed as its orbit around the Earth. This card warns us about the hidden, what we do not see. The interesting thing here is that is not about a lack of vision, but about what does not wish to be seen or who does not wish to be shown. I'm getting chills when I read this passage. First of all, the two faces of the moon. I feel like you and this person are the two faces of the moon. Like you are two sides of the same being. You are two faces of the same moon, if that makes sense. You are the gold and they are the silver. You are side one and they are side two. And it's so interesting. They have the dark side. The dark side of the moon is facing towards you, as if they are showing you the other side of you that does not wish to be seen. It's not that you can't see the other facet of you. It's that you don't want to see it or you're in resistance to seeing it. I think this connection is going to be deeply healing because you show each other. Wait, how do I explain this? Okay, I'm going to just go from your side. Imagine you are the moon and you have two sides to you. The light side of the moon is the side of you that you wish to be seen, the traits that you deem attractive, the traits that you deem acceptable. The dark side of your moon is the side that you don't want other people to see, and maybe even the side that you don't want to see yourself because you have deemed it as bad or as unacceptable. And this connection is going to be so healing because you meet this person. You find this person to be amazing. You find this person to be beautiful and wonderful and so bright and so attractive. They are proudly showing, they are putting in the forefront your dark side of the moon. The side of you or the traits of you that you did not wish to be seen, they are actually wearing those traits proudly and showing you that it is something that you can be proud of. Just for an example, maybe there's a side of you that is very outspoken and opinionated, and that's your dark side of the moon. I've hidden that away. I don't show that to people. That's not acceptable. That's bad. And then you meet this person and they are very openly opinionated and very assertively sharing their views on things and letting their voice be heard. The very thing that you were hiding and you felt was like your dark side, they are expressing it as their light side. They are expressing it as something to be proud of. And it's this moment of like, holy crap, I can do that. I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to look at my other side. Thank you for showing me that this is something I can be proud of. And actually, now that I see you expressing it, I find it very attractive and very beautiful and very positive. And you are going to do the same thing for them. Your yin and yang, you equally give to each other. Oh, this is so freaking cool. And the fact that you both have messages about manifesting, something is finally taking form. Your desired reality is manifesting. You're likely, from the moment you come into each other's lives, you're helping each other manifest your greatest desires, because in order to manifest your greatest desires, I think it requires integration of both sides of your moon. You have to reclaim and embrace all of yourself to really manifest your greatest desires. Oh, this is so cool. With matter here, I do feel like this is saying something about your 3D connection. Okay, your higher selves, because I'm just thinking of showing the dark side of the moon and something that doesn't want to be seen. Your higher selves might not reveal much to you about the spiritual connection because they want you to focus on the 3D connection. They want you to focus on like what is tangible and what is in front of you and really be grounded in the 3D connection, because that's where you're doing amazing things. And so you might find that when you inquire about the nature of the soul connection or like what's going on in the 5D, you might not get a lot of answers. And remember what the guidebook says, it's not because of a lack of vision, it's because of what doesn't wish to be seen. So it's not because you lack insight or you lack psychic ability. It's because your higher selves do not want to reveal this information to you yet, or they don't want you to focus too much. They're like, leave it to us for what's going on energetically. And I don't think it's so much of like a, you can't know this, but just that they really want you to be present in your 3D experience, because that is just what will benefit you the most right now, because this is your current energy. Also, gold and silver is making me think of medals, like a first place medal, a second place medal. And I just feel like both of you are so excellent and you could be really reaching the top of your fields. You could actually be in the same field and you guys are like the top two. That would be really cool. Or you're at the top of your respective things. But I wouldn't be surprised if you come together and work on something, because you are meant to or already helping each other manifest. And I feel like there's something else I wanted to say. I guess just to be in the present and be in the 3D with your person and take things at face value in the 3D is probably what they're encouraging you to do. And then we have boundaries in the middle. So there may also be things that their higher self is not ready to reveal to you, and that your higher self is not ready to reveal to them. And it's important to respect those boundaries. Learning about boundaries in general could also be one of the important parts of this connection. Boundaries with your interpersonal relationships, but also with yourself, because I feel like what thoughts you let consume your mind and what narratives you choose to entertain or not entertain, that has to do with like boundaries that you've set with yourself and with your mind. So, okay, this is really cool. I want to get into the 3D stuff. So on your side, we have like light. This is like light showering over you. And 1313, as I held up this card. We also have the Angel of Balance. On your person side, we have love or I love you and 1331 as I'm holding up this one. The synchronicities must go crazy between you and this person. Like, you must see so many synchronicities about this connection, which then I can see why you want to inquire a lot about the spiritual nature of the connection. And then we have community, and for the card in the middle, we have the number 3 again, desire with lettuce. That's funny that, does sativa mean leaves? Because I'm thinking about like the other leaf called sativa. Maybe that is relevant to you and your person. Doesn't have to be though. It's cool that we have like 1s and 2s at the top and then 3 at the bottom. Yeah, you're coming together, you're collaborating, you're working on something together. Yeah, we have desire for the energy in between the two of you. So there's definitely a mutual desire, a mutual longing for each other. We have Cancer energy here, which could be significant, and we have the element of earth. So Cancer placements or earth placements could be relevant. This card makes me think of Cancer as well because it reminds me of the 3 of Cups with the 3 people here. But yeah, there could be like a Cancer Sun, Earth Moon, or Earth Sun, Cancer Moon amidst the two of you. It doesn't have to be, but these little things could be confirmation. Where do I start? Let's start on your side. With light showering over you and the 1313 that accompanied that, it's so clear to me how happy this person makes you and how much light and joy this connection has brought into your life. I'm hearing for some of you, you maybe didn't even realize that such joy was possible, or that it was possible to love someone so much, or just feel so lit up and so inspired by someone. They've brought a lot of joy into your life. I feel like this is you, and these are your higher selves, because there's the yin cat and the yang cat, the gold dragon and the silver dragon. And so I do think that both of your higher selves are watching over you, and both of your higher selves are frequently communicating to you. So you probably hear from your person's higher self as much as you hear from your own higher self. I just heard like we're a package deal. Even the names of the dragons are very similar. Like this one is Kinryu, which is the gold dragon, and this one is Ginryu, because king is gold and ging is silver. But it sounds similar. I don't know what your soul names are. I feel like that's a very intimate thing, but your soul names could be similar to each other or sound similar to each other. And also, I think it's interesting that the higher selves are illustrated as cats, and this person is wearing a cat locket. This may be an encouragement to wear a pendant, a necklace, or something close to your heart that reminds you of this connection or reminds you of their higher self, just to feel more connected to them. Why am I hearing eat your vegetables? Is that a message from their higher self, just wanting you to take care of yourself? I'm not sure. Maybe it's because there's a vegetable here and I'm just subconsciously thinking about vegetables. I also like that the cats are wearing witch hats, because it very much feels like your higher self and your person's higher self constantly working magic in your life and just being present in your life. And I think you really feel that, and it makes you happy in your day-to-day. If you're ever overcome with joy, that's probably their higher self sending you love, giving you an energetic hug, or a sign that your person on the other side is thinking of you and being happy about you too. There's just so much light here, and it's very sweet. It's very sweet to just soak up this energy. With the Angel of Balance here, this can mean a couple of different things. For one, I do think that you probably feel this person's energy balances you out. Like you are counterparts to each other. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, because of that 1313, it makes me think of the death card. So after meeting this person, or after being exposed or introduced to this person's energy, you may have felt like you went through some kind of rebirth, or you went through an ego death, or you went through an awakening or a reawakening. It's almost like you feel like a new person. There was me before I met them, and there's me after I've met them. So sorry. With the Angel of Balance, I do think you feel this person energy balances you out. I also think this could be you trying to balance your emotions or balance your expectations. So you still might not know how things are going to turn out with this person, or what the future holds for this connection. And it's like you don't want to get your hopes up too much. And I actually think you're doing this in a healthy way, because I don't think you are shutting off your desires, or shutting off your love, or shutting off your passion. I very much do think you're allowing yourself to feel it and be inspired by it and be moved by it and feel joy from it, while also saying like, I don't know what's going to happen and I'm detached from the outcome. I just feel like you are in a very good place. And I think your guardian angels are helping you remain in this really good place. And then over on your person side, this looks very community-like. Like we literally have this community card, but then we also have this group hug going on. So you could be in the same community as your person, even if you don't know each other that well, or honestly, even if you don't know each other in the 3D yet, you could still be a part of the same community, as in the part of the same movement on Earth. Like for example, because I see the harp here. Let's say you and your person are both musicians. Even if you've never collaborated together, or even if you've never met each other in person, like you're still part of the community that is music. You're both contributing to this community, and you're both influencing this community. So you are connected through being part of some community together. It could even be like you're both entrepreneurs, you're both self-employed, and even if you're doing completely different things, you are part of the community of entrepreneurs on Earth, and your experience and your discourse will shape each other's journeys. That's kind of the vibe. And so, but I do think if you're not already, you will be part of a closer knit community together, where you're actively interacting with each other. And I just saw 2121. Lots of 12, 21, 13, 31, 333. 1, 2s, and 3s are coming up a lot. And I think that whether or not, like no matter how close you are to this person in the 3D, they do have love for you, because they have love for their community. And anyone who is in it, they have love for, and they want to support. I do think that there's a desire to get closer to you from your person's side. So, and I keep feeling like saying, regardless of how close you are in the 3D, or even if you haven't met. So I wonder if some of you who chose this group like haven't met them yet in person, or like this. Anyway, obviously you'll know where your connection is at right now, but they might get more involved in a certain community because they want to get closer to you, or they might try to get closer to you through your shared interests, or through your shared aspirations. I do feel like there is a passion that links the two of you, or an aspiration, a goal, a talent, and again, a community that links the two of you, and that you will particularly stand out to each other, and that you will particularly inspire each other. And yeah, the desire and the longing is definitely mutual. So these are your current energies. We're going to move into your future now and see what is happening between you and your person from now moving into the future. Another thing, there might be, I'm just looking at this boundaries card again. I think I just feel a strong emotion of appreciation. I don't know if it's coming from you or them or it's mutual, but there's this sense of appreciation of you see me beyond my role in society or beyond the communities and groups that I belong to or that I contribute to. And you see through to me as a person, which is maybe like a rare thing. So I'll use myself as an example. This would be like, and it sounds weird saying this because like, I'm just Carrie, but imagine if there's someone and I'm like, thank you for seeing Carrie and thank you for appreciating Carrie and not just seeing me as KINO. Like, thank you for just not liking me as the tarot reader on YouTube, but liking me for who I am. You know, it's like that kind of vibe. Or we can use musician again as an example. And your person is like, thank you for not just liking me for my accomplishments or for what I do or what I contribute or like the community that I'm in, and you just see me as like an individual human and you see through to my personhood and my humanity, and there's a sense of appreciation there. Okay, what is in the future? I'm excited. What is in the future for my group number 2s and their person? Whoa, we have the sun with life force. That is beautiful. This deck is awesome. The Wee Moon Tarot. You guys have good taste. We have, look at this image. This is you guys. We have 2552, another mirroring number as I'm holding up this card. We have the 2 of Fire, which is the 2 of Wands, and it's called the Art of Love in this deck. Oof. We got some fiery energy going on. Obviously the sun is also fire. We have fire again. Priestess Mother. I would guess, I actually don't know. This is one of the court cards, but I honestly find with this deck, it's quite different from traditional tarot. And so it's not always helpful to be strict about what the equivalent is, so to speak. Tending the hearth. And we will get one more. Oh, now we have a water card. Amazon Daughter, Moon Time. The moon seems to be, well, we have the sun and the moon here actually, which is just more yin and yang energy. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the water priestess mother. Look at the duality that we have here. Like, we have the fire priestess mother and the water priestess mother. More duality. We have the sun and the moon. More duality. And then we have the art of love with the 2 of you coming together. Yep, this is divine counterpart energy. What can I say? This is awesome. So this is your timeline of events, and I feel like this is kind of something you're going through together. This definitely indicates some kind of union, the 2 of Wands, or some kind of partnership. And if we look at this as a timeline, this is more towards the beginning of our timeline. So that leads me to believe it is happening relatively soon. With the sun here, this feels like inspiration. This feels like a new project, which it's either just you or it's both of you, but it's definitely you. starting a new project, creating something like completely from you. You may have assistance, but I feel like the idea and the passion behind it is really coming from you. It's something that you feel very excited about because you feel like it's really going to bring light to the world. But at the same time, I feel like it's something that you're starting for fun. It feels very no pressure. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm starting this project and I really hope that it's successful and I really hope that I reach this goal and I meet this standard. It's like, I'm just winging it. I'm not expecting anything from this. I'm just doing this for fun. It's kind of like when I started my channel, I did not think anything. I was like, let me just start it. And I just, it feels like something like that you just suddenly get very inspired to do. And it's something that you do for fun. And you just want to express yourself and you just want to share light with other people. And it feels like you're not really putting any pressure on yourself to meet any sort of standards or for it to grow to any sort of capacity, but it will grow. It will naturally grow. It will organically grow. I think you'll naturally bring in supporters or, people who want to help you or people who want to follow your work. And it comes completely from a place of just inspiration and from a carefree place. And I think this is kind of going to be a mind-blowing thing for you when you just create from joy and passion, and it feels like the growth is just so, I want to say organic, like it just comes organically, it just comes naturally. And I think that can be something that's kind of counterintuitive because humans, silly humans, we don't have anything figured out, but we like to pretend that we do. And we say like, if you want to be successful, I don't know, like if you want to have a successful YouTube channel, you have to post at 3 p.m. and 13 minutes and 21 seconds, and your content has to be 6 seconds long, and you have to get the attention of people in the first 0.9 milliseconds, and you have to post every 28 business seconds. Like, we really like to make these strict rules and formulas that you have to follow and make people feel like if I can't keep up with this, then I'm gonna fall behind. And I feel like whatever you're doing, you're just so fueled by passion and your inspiration that you're not even thinking about all of that. And you're just soaring. You're just knocking it out of the park. And it just happens. It just comes naturally and it feels so good and it feels so expansive. I hope that I'm making sense. I just feel like I'm getting so excited sitting with this energy, and it's just a testament to like how powerful the soul is, and the soul does not play by the silly rules of the mortals. It's kind of the vibe. Life force. You're being driven by life force, and the name of this painting is called Manifestation Chamber, or of this illustration. This deck is so cool because all of the illustrations are done by different people. It's like a collaborative, that's funny, it's a collaborative project. And I wonder if intuitively you were drawn to this deck because you are meant to have joyful collaborative projects with other souls. That is so cool. And then we have the Two of Wands, which shows you coming together with your person. So whatever you're doing here, it's either getting the attention of your person, or if you already have their attention, this is probably them taking interest, perhaps coming on board with you, perhaps assisting you. But it's interesting because this is Mars and Aries energy, so it feels very enthusiastic. You are putting yourself forward enthusiastically and they are responding enthusiastically. And this is also very healing too, because it shows you what it looks like when people really choose you, when people really care, when people really want you. It's like you are getting such an enthusiastic yes from the universe and from your person. And I guess there's kind of a looking back of, wow, I was really taking all that lukewarm energy before and like trying to determine if this person was choosing me, if this person wanted me, if this company wanted me. I was taking all that wishy-washy energy and being like, is it a yes? And now I know what a yes really looks like. Now I really know what it looks like to be seen and to be chosen and to be prioritized and for someone to be excited about me and what I'm doing. And I think that's a boundary thing too, because it's like, I'm not taking any more lukewarm, wishy-washy energy now. Because I know if it's not a hell yes, then it's a no. If I don't, and same for what you will accept. Like if I don't feel hell yes towards something, then I'm going to keep it pushing. I think you're in whenever you can, because life is life sometimes, but whenever you can, you are choosing to be driven just by what inspires you and what you feel really excited about. The reason I say life is because sometimes we just have to do things that we're not crazy excited about. Like I'm not excited to do my taxes, but but we don't have to accept like commitments or accept projects or accept opportunities that we're not totally excited about. And then moving on here, we have Fire, Priestess, Mother. I think it's very interesting that this person is pregnant. I don't know if that is meant to be interpreted literally, although it very well could be. That could be a confirmation for some of you. But I do think for many of you, this is more so metaphorical in the sense that you have something that you are preparing to birth into the world. And that is in the works. And something that you are preparing together with your person. Also, just looking at this person, their hair looks really long and healthy, and it looks like they have the pregnancy glow. So you're definitely very passionate about what you're doing, and I really do think that's going to make you glow, and it's going to make you feel more attractive. You could even notice some changes to your physical appearance naturally occurring, or you could be making changes to your physical appearance. But I feel like this represents is gestation the word? A gestation period of an idea, of a project. For some of you, it could literally be a child, but I do feel that for many of you, this is more of a symbolic thing. And then we have moon time. It's interesting because this energy all feels very like fiery and passionate and exciting and go, go, go. And then this feels like more serene and introspective. It almost feels like, I think you're creating something that's going to be very healing for a lot of people, and it's also going to be very healing for you. But interestingly, I think a lot of the healing doesn't come right away. The healing, you may not really notice what's happening while you're in the creation process. And while you're kind of in the afterglow of launching or releasing this project, but it's like after the energy has kind of died down, maybe after you've heard people's feedback, or you've kind of let it soak in and really process what this project means to you. I'm almost like shaking right now as I'm talking about this. I feel like that's when the deep healing is going to happen. And it's like if you had made a body of work and you were just channeling the whole time. You're just like channeling, and you're really excited about it and high energy and go, go, go. And then you release this body of work, and then there's still that lingering excitement and you're like buzzing from it. And then after some time goes by and you really look at the body of work that you just made and you really reflect on it, it's almost like you realize the meaning of it after. Because before you were just in channel mode. you are just in creation mode. And I think a lot of the times we do heal as we create. It almost feels like a delayed thing. You don't fully realize the meaning of what you just created until after the fact. Maybe after you see its impact, or after the messages have really sunk in. There's like another wave of healing and realizing what this work means to you. I hope that makes sense. There is also a feeling just with the moon, seeing all the phases of the moon here, seeing the waxing and waning and the fish. There is kind of a feeling of coming together and then going your separate ways, and then coming together again and going your separate ways again. So you may be, joined together, you come together for this joint purpose, and it's very exciting and passionate. And then after that, you might retreat again. And it's not that you've had a falling out or anything like that. It's just, I'm going into hermit mode. I'm going into introspection mode. I'm going into processing mode. If this is, because there's just a feeling you're like coming together and activating things in each other. Like you could be giving downloads to them and they're giving downloads to you. And then you have to go apart and be in hermit mode to process the things that you activated in each other. To fully make sense of what was just transmitted to you energetically, you have to retreat from each other for a second and just like process things. If this is a romantic connection, if it's not, please ignore me. But if this is a romantic connection, this could represent a moment in which you are physically intimate together. And that experience is like very powerful. And it just brings up a lot of things in you, or it causes a lot of downloads to happen. And then there might be a period of not really speaking to each other after that, but it's because you're both just so overwhelmed and like, what the heck just happened? I feel like when you come together, it's so intense that there's almost like you need a period of recovering after to be like, what the heck did I just experience? What was all that? What was going on? I feel like I was in the 11th dimension. I don't know what's happening. Like this looks, even this, it looks very psychedelic. You might have a psychedelic experience with this person if you're into that kind of thing. Definitely don't have to. But this does not look very earthling to me. This looks like a cosmic being. It's just that the activations that happen when you're together are very intense. And so when all is said and done, after that initial fire, it's like, okay, now I have to cool down. Now I have to go into this water energy. Now I have to go in this energy of reflecting and processing. And I feel like you do that. You continuously do that. You come together when you are ready to activate each other, and then you process things, and then you come back, and then you process things, and it goes like that. And I just saw 42. So, whoa, this reading was cool. So this is what is happening for you guys in the near future. You're having your passion is being activated. You're blowing up. You're growing. They're joining you. You're having some intense, intimate, passionate experience together. Whether that's like creating together or being physical together or all of the above. And then you got to process what the heck just happened. And so there might be more of like a quiet period, at least in the 3D, a quiet period in your connection. Wow. I mentioned Aries energy with the Two of Wands. Aries energy, Leo energy, and Pisces energy could be significant. Also Cancer, the moon is making me think of Cancer, and we had Cancer here as well. But holy crap, this was very, very intense. So we are going to take it over to the extended now, where we see what is happening in the long-term future between the two of you, and we're going to see relevant time frames within this connection based on the current energies. And we will also get a message from your person's 3D self and from their higher self. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, I'm going to have that link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have a link down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. And I just saw 4444. And you can also decide on topics for future readings, and I'll have my music channel linked, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the Carnelian and the Art of Love Tarot, this is going to be your reading. I want to start by showing the list of the full breakdown of today's reading. We have the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended. Here on YouTube, we're going to start by seeing the current energies of the connection. So we'll have a row of cards on top for the 5D connection and a row of cards below that for the 3D connection. And we will have your energies here, your person's energies here, and then in the middle will be the energy that exists between the two of you. Then we're going to move on to the future energies. So we're going to see what will happen next between the two of you. And we'll look at this as a timeline of events from the present moment into the near future. And we are going to look mainly at your 3D connection. So what is going on between your human selves? And then in the extended, we're going to look more into the long-term future. So whatever we see here in your future energies of the connection, we're going to see whether this energy will change, will things keep growing, will things stay the same? And then we're going to get significant time frames for your connection based on the current energies. And finally, some messages from your person. And we're going to get a message from both their 3D self as well as their higher self. So that is the reading for today. Thank you so much for being here. And let's get started. So I'm actually going to put this deck to the side for now, because for the energy check of your connection, we're going to be using oracle cards. And actually, I just want to put our Carnelian on a stand because I think that he's a bit wobbly. So there. Okay, so your cards are going to go over here, your person's cards are going to go over here, and then the middle is going to be the energy between the two of you. But if you listen to these descriptions and it sounds reversed, this sounds more like your person and this sounds more like you, it's totally fine to flip the energies around. You might even find that both sides sound like you. And if you resonate with both sides, that's totally fine too. And it's actually a strong sign that you are mirroring your person's energy, or you're mirroring each other, I should say. But if you don't see yourself anywhere in this spread, then this is likely not your group. But without further ado, let's see what we have for you. So starting with your 5D connection, your energy is being represented by dark nebula. Then we have, it's like the celebrating dragon. And it says, cheers to a joyful future. On your person's side, we have Parsec. Then we have the Cloud Dragon, and it says, you are protected. And for the energy between the two of you, we have Dark Moon, the Void, with the number 1. Okay, I want to look in the guidebook for these two cards because I'm not super familiar with this deck, and I want to make sure that we properly know what they mean. But I do want to point out that there's quite a bit of darkness going on here and clouds. We see literally your person is being represented by the Cloud Dragon. In your dragon card as well, you are surrounded by some clouds, and this Dark Nebula card looks like clouds as well. So there could be a feeling of mystery, a feeling of confusion. With this darkness, there could be a sense that this connection has gone dark, so to speak, or you feel like you are in the dark when it comes to this connection. Let's start with your Dark Nebula. So this is on page 45. Hiding the treasures of light, lack of clarity and understanding, dim and blurred visibility. There are nebula of birth, light, and evolution. Well, this is not the case. Cut off from light, the dark nebula is not linked to any stars. It is not ionized, nor does it reflect the light of any body. A dark nebula is simply a cloud of interstellar dust which does not shine or emit light. Through a telescope, it will appear as a dark patch hiding stars. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna look at Parsec as well, but I do feel like I have a sense of what is being shown here. Parsec is on page 72. Distance. Between one object and another, one place and another, one being and another, the distance creates a pause and the necessary air to be in the field from another place. Making space, listening to silence, touching nothingness, looking at the void, tasting the new, perceiving the aroma of calm and meditating will be key senses to bringing clarity. Empty the mind of noises, images, and movement which do not help create a blank space. With distance, we can appreciate the place to fill later with new apparitions which are not taking place as they are unable to find an open space. A pause for a new flow. Distance from the space where we can find bodies, movement, and continuity. This place where all the matter is contained calls for some time off in order to make enough room. And then we also have this message, portal, activate 999 portal. I think it's interesting too that this passage is on page 72, which does add up to 9. So 9 or repeating 9s could be a significant energy to this connection. Maybe one of you is a life path 9 as well. Okay, and that kind of confirms what I was thinking about this energy. The fact that we have a void in the middle, I'm thinking of a void of course moon, which is a moon that is not aspected by any other planets, and it's kind of isolated. And in astrology, a void of course moon often indicates a situation where that's not really going to come through, or nothing is really going to come of it. So for the current energies in your connection from a soul perspective, it feels like you may be in an energy where nothing is really happening, or nothing is really unfolding between the two of you. Or it could feel that way, and it could feel lonely. I'm wondering if some of you have felt disconnected from this person's higher self, or felt like it's more difficult to hear from them, or you don't hear from them as often, or you feel a distance between the two of you, because this parsec card was talking about distance. It was talking about stillness as well. You may feel a stagnation in the connection, and you also might feel confusion, like you might feel left in the dark. The Dark Nebula spoke about confusion, and your person's dragon is literally made of clouds. So you've maybe been left confused by this person's actions, or you've been left confused by the lack of action, or just the connection entirely. And then in the midst of all of that, we have this celebrating dragon. It kind of looks like your person is moving away, because the dragon is moving in this direction and they're creating distance. And it looks like you are seeing them off. And with all of this clouds and confusion, you might not understand why they're choosing to move away, but you just want them to know that you're proud of them and you're happy for them. Like, no matter this energy of your higher self, it's like no matter what you choose, I'm going to support you. It almost feels like they chose to move on from the connection, or maybe there was something that you had planned to do together, like your souls planned, okay, we're going to come into each other's lives and we're going to learn this together, or we're going to experience this together. And then they suddenly changed their mind, or their energy suddenly started to move away from you, like kind of deviating from your soul's plan. And your higher self is here like, oh, that's okay. I'm proud of you, or I'm happy for you. You've made this choice to like go off somewhere else or pursue something else. But behind that like the friendliness of seeing them off and being happy for them no matter what, I feel like there's a great confusion. And I do feel like there's a heaviness in your higher self's heart. And if you've ever felt really drawn to this person and like something more was meant to happen with them than what really did happen, I feel like it's because at one point it was. Because this feels lonely. It feels like there was more that you were meant to do or experience or gain together, but then they mysteriously decided to create distance. And this is you trying to be like, even in the midst of this confusion, like, I can be the bigger person. I don't have to understand why you're doing this, and I can still wish you well. It's a tough energy. And I do think that your soul is holding space for all of it. Like, deep down, you do have love for them and you do wish them all the best, and you are, if they're pursuing what they believe will make them happy, then you are happy for them. But there's also a feeling of like loneliness or disappointment or confusion that is coming through as well. And just the fact that they're made of clouds, I wonder if they're confused as well. They may be pursuing something that they think they want, that they think is bigger and better, like a grass is greener kind of thing. But I can't tell with this cloud dragon, are they hiding their true intention from you, or do they themselves not even know what they really want? So I think we'll get into your 3D cards to get a further look at what is going on. So on your side, we have, this says like going the wrong way, the wrong direction. We have walking away. On your person's side, we have reaching a goal. And we have financial constraints. And for the energy in between the two of you, we have success with peppermint. And I noticed that the number 20 is appearing twice. So that could be a relevant number. Or like the year 2020 also could be significant, or like 2020 vision could be relevant in some way. We also have the sign of Libra here, and we have the element of fire. You don't necessarily need to have these placements, but it could be confirmation for some of you. There could be a Libra Sun Fire Moon or a Fire Sun Libra Moon in the mix. Okay, let's get into it. I feel like this is your person and this is you, because they're the one who's walking away. And this person, yeah, this will be like a sign that this is your group, is that I think that this person, your person has walked away from you. Whether that's like in the 3D, they walked away, or they have pulled away from you energetically. There's a feeling of them moving away from the connection, creating more distance and creating confusion. So, and they look, their face, it could be an angry face, but I feel like this is more a face of resolve and a face of determination. And you look bewildered and confused and like, I thought we were going this way. It seems like you were walking this way together and then they suddenly turned around and you're like, wait, what? Like, I thought our plan was to go down this path together. It could also be that you were walking together and you came up at a fork in the road and they chose to go that way and you were like confused by that choice, but you have to keep going in the direction that feels right for you. And, you know, with this walking away, you have maybe made the choice to walk away from this connection, or you're thinking about doing so. But I feel like deep down, it's not because you want to. Because I think deep down, like, your higher self is always going to be watching over them the same way they're seeing them off here. You're always going to care about them. You're always going to worry about them. You're always going to feel that urge to check in on their energy. And you don't want to stop caring about them. I feel like it's a sad energy to sit with, because it's like, I don't want to move on, but I have no choice, because I can't follow you down this path because it doesn't feel right for me. Or I can't, like, if you're walking away, I have no choice. It's that kind of feeling. I don't want to move on, and I wish you weren't walking away, but I'm also not going to just stay here by myself. I'm going to go my own way. I'm going to try to move forward. Yeah. And I think it's hard, because you can probably, like these two butterflies at the top, you can probably feel your higher self and feel their higher self. And you know that there's a spiritual connection that exists, but if they've made this choice, it's like, what can you do? So yeah, I feel like you're in this energy of, okay, then I'm going to walk away too. Or I guess, or kind of making peace with that idea of like, I guess I have to walk away now as well. On your person's end, we have achieving a goal. So I wonder if for many of you, the reason this person walked away was because of some goal that they became, I'm hearing that they became consumed with, and I'm hearing they had it in their head that like they need to reach this goal, and pursuing this goal is going to make them happy and it's going to fix all of their problems. And I wonder if there's a part of you that kind of questioned that, and really from a place of genuinely caring about them. Because pursuing this goal, I feel like, is what took them away from you in a sense. And if you genuinely believed that pursuing this goal would make them happy, I think that it would be a lot easier for you to watch them walk away. But you might observe that their motivations are distorted, or that it's coming from a grass is greener kind of mentality. I do think whatever it is, they have achieved the goal, or they will achieve the goal, which is awesome. And I think that you're truly happy for them, or you just want them to be happy. You know, we have achieving the goal here, we have success in the middle. You both will be successful in whatever you are setting out to do. But success and happiness are two different things, you know? So I guess you're like, I believe in you and I believe in your ability to achieve this goal, but I just really hope it's going to be the thing that makes you happy. And also in a way that maybe it's almost like your higher self feels selfish to say it, but it's like, I miss you. I want you to be here with me, but I also want you to do whatever you feel is right, but I'm just worried if this is really the right thing. It's like, and reconciling these two energies, because you may be perceiving it in like a selfish versus selfless way, but it's valid if you're concerned about them, and it's valid if you miss them, and it's valid if you're disappointed about the way things turned out. We have financial constraints here, so this could have been a motivation for them to pursue a certain goal as well. This could also be indicating a sense of insecurity that they felt about their financial situation or their material status. Whether they genuinely were experiencing material lack, or if they just always perceived that whatever they had wasn't good enough, I'm not sure. But just looking at this person, again, with that face of determination and resolve, it's like they were chasing more money or more material success, or like a higher material status. This may be someone who had a period in their life where they went without, and so now there's a feeling of wanting to correct that, and they might overcompensate sometimes. Or they might have kind of a void in them of like, no matter what I accomplish, it's not enough. No matter what I earn, it's not enough. And maybe upon seeing their goal, you might have thought like, oh my gosh, like, why do you need to do all of that? You're already doing great for yourself. There's kind of a feeling that you're not fully convinced about their motivations, which at the end of the day, only they need to be convinced, right? But it's like, I'm not sure if they're even convinced of why they're doing it, you know? And I wonder, has this person been defensive about it? Because I just see you feeling confused and bewildered, where it's like, I just want you to be happy. Like, I'm just making sure you know what will make you happy, and that you know you're doing the right thing. And then you might get like pushback from them, or just be completely left in the dark, or like you don't understand why this is happening. So it really does seem like a tough energy that you are currently in. So what we are going to do is get into the tarot now, and we're going to see what the future energies are. The future of this connection between my group number 3s and their person. We have the Empress with Mother and 2222 as I'm showing this card. We have the Ace of Angels with Wisdom, and I believe this is the Ace of Swords. We have the Queen of Angels, Queen of Swords with Visionary. And we have the Six of Hearts, which is the Six of Cups and the Past. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna look at the bottom. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this happened for group number 1 as well, where the same card that we showed in the intro is actually appears in your reading. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 5 of Wands with diversity. Okay. So I feel like this Empress is representing you, and this was representing you as well, which I think is interesting because there was butterflies flying around you here and butterflies flying around you here. Butterflies could be a symbol of your higher self or of guardian angels. And I feel like the color pink is relevant to you as well, with the pink flowers on both cards and the pink clothing, the pink butterflies. And it's like a magenta, a reddish pink, a rich pink kind of color. Even this angel has the rich pink wings, and this being has the pink face. I wonder if your soul or your aura emits this color. But I think that this Empress is you, and this really represents the unconditional love that you have for this person. That no matter what they do, or no matter what you do, or no matter what happens, you're gonna have love for them. And I wonder if this represents a moment where you are finally recognizing that. You're finally embracing that truth. And yeah, like my I can physically move on, but like my heart and soul will not. I'm always going to have love for this person. And I think acknowledging that and letting that ring true inside of you, this is being shown as like a significant event. And then here we have the Ace of Swords and the Queen of Swords, which makes me think that you will probably initiate a very straightforward, no BS conversation with this person. And it's interesting because the Queen of Swords, we often see her as this kind of cold or detached figure, and she can be quite blunt and just like harsh sometimes. But the Empress is the softest, most loving, most caring, gentle being. And so it's almost like you're realizing sometimes when you really love someone, you have to be in this energy of just being very straightforward and very no BS. And there maybe was a point where you thought that allowing your person to go down this path was actually showing them love, because it's like, oh, I'm being selfless by just letting them go whatever way they want. But I feel like you're reaching a place where you realize, if I truly love them, I have to. And it's not like you're gonna tell them they can't do something, but it's like they need to know how I feel. They need to know the truth. And if I view this path as like harmful, it's like they deserve to know that, or I can't just like sit and let them behave like this or let them make this choice. They might be doing something kind of silly, because the Queen of Swords is very like, let's cut out the BS. And I don't mean to judge your person or judge their path, but I feel you're coming through as just having this nagging feeling of like, I have to tell them. I have to be honest with them about this path, because that's how I will really show them love, is by sharing my truth, and by just like shutting up and letting them go down this path that is not really showing them love. It feels almost like enabling or just being passive. And if you speak your truth and you're really honest with them and they still choose to go down that path, then that is fine. You know, you're not gonna force them to do anything. But it's like I can't just be quiet about it. I at least have to say what is on my mind. I at least have to say my piece. And that is coming from a place of love. Like this blunt energy is coming from a place of unconditional love. So I do think you're going to have a really honest conversation with this person in the near future about like, I'm very confused about what you're doing. And I don't know if this is like the right path, or I don't know if this is the right decision. And I thought that we were going to do this and this and this. And can you, like, if this is really the path that you're going to go down, can you at least like help me understand, or like what changed? And maybe this is even an act of love for yourself. The Empress is, I deserve to know. If there's, I don't have to just accept that I'm left in the dark. I deserve to know, or like I deserve to have closure at the very least if you're gonna continue going this way. And this Six of Cups is really beautiful to me. I do want to talk about this Five of Wands because, you know, it is an indicator of conflict and friction and things like that. And so, I feel like there maybe was a part of you that you thought you were being the bigger person and doing the right thing, but really you were just avoiding confrontation. And so your ego maybe kind of consoled you of like, you're doing the selfless thing by just remaining silent. You're doing the selfless thing by just like letting them walk away. But really it's that you're just afraid of confronting them, and you're afraid of the conflict that it might cause. And so ironically, it was kind of like a selfish motivation. Not that I'm calling you selfish, but I feel like your ego kind of spun the reaction into like, oh, that's very big of you. But really it's like, I'm afraid to speak up because they might get mad at me. Or like it might turn into a conflict, or I might get my feelings hurt. And I feel like the Queen of Swords is saying, the Queen of Swords, she's so like no BS. She's like, screw it. I'm gonna confront this person. Like, I think this is messed up because you made these promises to me and you gave me these expectations. Now I'm like, you wasted my time. You wasted my time. You violated my boundaries. And I was trying to be this like massive hearted, oh, but this is their journey and I must let them be free. And the Queen of Swords is like, no, fuck that. You wasted my freaking time with these empty plans and these empty promises, and I made space for you in my life. And I'm not saying you have to like pay me back, but I at least deserve to know like what the fuck happened. Ooh, there was some anger hiding in there, and it took me 30 minutes to get to it. So you guys maybe have some really deeply repressed anger. Like, you're allowed to be angry at how this person treated you. I know it's like, it may feel like it's the spiritual thing to just let them. No, don't let them. Hold them accountable. The fuck? Like, what? Oh, sorry. I got a bit worked up there. And I think with this Six of Cups, you know, it's so interesting that that grass is greener kind of expression was coming to my mind, because the Six of Hearts it's your home, it's what's familiar, it's what you've already experienced. So the Six of Cups feels like your garden. I feel like your person did something where they wanted to run off to another garden rather than watering the garden they already have. Or they just felt like, or they were trying to, they're like, I need to go find myself, but you saw through that, and it's like, no, you're actually escaping yourself right now. Like, you're gonna have all the same problems even if you run off. It's not, if a plant dies, it's not the plant's fault. if you walk away from your plant because it died and walk away to a new plant, guess what? The new plant is also going to die unless you solve the issue, which is how you care for the plant. They need to hear this. Because I think there's a part of you that's like, okay, you can go off Cloud Dragon, but you're going to do the exact same thing and you're going to come across the exact same problems. And I'm not even saying this to be like, please stay with me. I'm saying this because you need to hear it before you perpetuate the same cycle over and over again. And I'm telling you this because I care about you. So you have to have this confrontation. And I do think, I mean, you don't have to, but I think you'll feel called to. And I do think you're gonna get through to this person. Look at all this emphasis on like the third eye. That's seeing beyond the veil and seeing beyond the BS and seeing the truth of a situation. And I almost feel like reactivating what they know is right and reactivating their connection to their higher self and to their intuition. And the Six of Cups, it just feels so much like, I'm going to stay in my home, I'm going to stay in my garden, and I'm going to tend to my garden. Ooh, that was intense. So that is what is happening in your near future, or what you may feel called to do and what would be beneficial. That was a lot. But we are going to move into the extended now, where we see the long-term future for this connection, where we see relevant time frames for the connection based on current energies. And we will also get a message from your person's higher self, your person's 3D self, and then your person's higher self. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, I'm going to have that link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have a link down below. My tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 4s. So if you guys chose the Rose Quartz and the Starchild Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So I want to start off by showing a list of the full breakdown of today's reading. We have the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended. And over here on YouTube, we're going to start by seeing the current energies between you and your person. So we're going to look at one row of cards at the top to represent your 5D connection, the connection between your higher selves. Then we are going to put another row beneath that to represent your 3D connection. We're going to have your energy here, their energy here, and in the middle will be the energy that currently exists between the two of you. Then once we look at the current energies, we're going to see the future energies and see what will happen next between the two of you. This is going to be like a timeline of events starting at the present moment and into the near future. And this is mainly going to be about your 3D connection. So what is going on between your human selves. And then in the extended reading, we're going to look more into the long-term future. So whatever future energies we saw here, we're going to find out, will these energies change in the long-term future? Will they keep growing? Will they stay the same? we are going to see significant time frames for the connection based on current energies, and then at the very end of the reading we will get messages from your person, and we're going to get a message from both their 3D self as well as their higher self. So that is the reading today. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. So I'm going to put this tarot deck to the side because for our energy check we're going to be using these oracle cards. So like I mentioned, your cards are going to be here and your person's cards are going to be over here. But if upon listening to these descriptions, the roles feel reversed, like this feels more like your person and this feels more like you, that is totally fine. You may also feel like you resonate with the energy on both sides, which is a strong sign that you and your person are mirroring each other. But if you don't see yourself anywhere in this spread, then this is likely not your group today. But with all that being said, let's get started. So your 5D connection. Your energy is being represented by the protoplanetary disk and the flying dragon, and it says to do things in a different way. Then on your person's side, their energy is represented by attraction and the ascending dragon, quite similar. And it says like you are suddenly leveling up. And then for the energy that exists between the two of you, we have gratitude with the last quarter moon and the number 23. I'm noticing that all of these numbers are quite close together, like 23, 25, 26. I wonder if these could be ages of you and your person, or it could even be dates, like you could be born on the 23rd, 25th, 26th, or like February 3, 5, or 6. You don't have to be, but I'm just mentioning that in case it's a confirmation for some of you. What I do find very interesting is that you are the flying dragon and they are the ascending dragon. So you guys are definitely on a similar vibe. You come first and they follow. You're number 25, they're number 26, and even the way the dragons have appeared. You're like, I'm flying over here, come with me. And their higher self is like, okay, and going with you. You have the protoplanetary disk as well. I will admit I am not super familiar with a lot of the cards in this deck, and so I have been reading from the guidebook a few times throughout this reading, but I am familiar with this one. And the protoplanetary disk is the space where planets are formed. So what we have for your energy is that you are taking on a different way of doing things, and you are creating your own world. So I think this represents your higher self as, I just saw 444, by the way, which you may see when your higher self is communicating with you. Your higher self is definitely a free spirit, and I think that reflects on your human self. You have maybe felt like a black sheep at times, or just that the lifestyle that is encouraged in the world of the earthlings is not a vibe for you, and you don't want to live your life the way most people do, or the way most people seem to want to live it, and you are likely destined to take a path in this life that would be considered unconventional, and that there's not really a prescribed set of rules to, or like a formula on how to do it. You are just really winging it and trying things your own way. You are not modeling your ambitions or your path off of anyone else. You want to be completely free. And this will likely reflect as a human, this will likely reflect in your career, in your living situation. It could also reflect in the people you are surrounded by. I'm seeing 555 as well. And actually, this kind of reminds me of Life Path 5 energy and I'm a Life Path 5 myself. Like, we crave that freedom and doing things our own way, and we need variety and change and stimulation in our life. So Anyway, all of that to say, I think you're a free spirit and you will likely be happiest when you're living life in an unconventional way and by your own set of rules, not just following someone else's rule book. And there's that expression of like, if you don't feel like you belong in this world, it's because you're meant to create a new one. I feel like that's something you'll definitely feel a lot of fulfillment if you live by. You are creating your own world. You are creating your own universe and you're boldly going towards it. And you have inspired your person's higher self. Whatever you're doing here on earth, whatever you're doing in this incarnation, you have caught the attention of your person's higher self. I'm imagining like, okay, just imagine this is Earth and then these are your higher selves up here. Wait, I need a... Yeah, and these are your higher selves up here. And like, you're helping your human self on Earth and you're living this badass life. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. What are you doing? What you doing down there? Can I see? And you're like, yeah, look. So now my human is doing this and this and this. And they're like, whoa, that's awesome. I want to do that too. Like, the way it's coming through, I don't know why I needed the visuals, but that was very fun. The way it's coming through is like, you're totally inspiring your person's higher self right now. And your person's higher self wants to step out of their comfort zone and live a life that is similar to you or similar to what you are aspiring to. And they have the message of suddenly leveling up. So I think that their higher self peeped what you were doing and was like, oh, that could be very beneficial for my human. Like, we could achieve a lot of growth that way. And so they're tagging along, and I feel like they're just such a big supporter of you and they're very attracted to you. It's like you're a magnet and you're going together. And even look at these hands. The hand on your side is coming from up above and looks like it's pulling the other hand up. I think maybe your person was in a dark place or in a dull place and their human self was not super fulfilled with life. And I think you inspired them and you pulled them up to a higher perspective or to a more aligned way of living, and that they're incredibly grateful for that. And I'm sure the gratitude goes both ways and you're very grateful for this person as well. But this is a really sweet energy to start off with. I'm excited to see what your 3D connection looks like. I'm like, this should be in the middle, but that's because I didn't put them down yet. So for your energy, I love this. On the right path. Let that just resonate with you, because I think some of you really need to hear this message. You are on the right path. You are doing life the right way. You're doing the right things for you. It's hard when you look around and people are doing things differently and you're like, should I be doing that too? Should I be pursuing different things? Should I be prioritizing different things? Should I be wanting that milestone because everyone else is doing it? No, you are on the right path for yourself. And I love the candles on either side of the road. It's like your higher self and your spiritual team will always light the way for you, and they'll always be showing you little signs that you're on the right path. In fact, that 444 that we saw, or that I saw, but you might be seeing it too, even just that number in itself, it's like everything is unfolding the way it should be. You are on the right path. You are protected. You are divinely guided. I think you guys really need to know that. We also have the thinking woman. So clearly you are incredibly intelligent as well. For your person's energy, we have, it's like putting in the time and effort, or just putting in the effort. I'm not sure, but that's basically what it means. And then we have action. And then we have attraction again. Okay. We have attraction twice. I'm just going to turn down the light a bit because I feel like it was getting kind of glary. We have attraction, we have attraction, we have action. That reminds me of get in the action, feel the attraction, color my hand, do what I dare. Oh, 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 wanna be free and to feel the way I feel. Man, I feel like a woman. That's a good song. She's Canadian. Shout out. Anyway, yeah. I like that. Very strong indications of attraction. And we have it in the middle here. So definitely in the 3D, there is a mutual attraction to each other. If you have already met this person in the 3D, then they are attracted to you. If you haven't, this is letting you know that they will be very attracted to you when they meet you. They absolutely will be. I'm just hearing it will be hard for them to understand that you are real. Like, they'll be looking at you and spending time with you and talking to you and being like, how can such a perfect person exist? And especially, so if this is a romantic connection, there will be a very, very strong physical attraction and physical compatibility between the two of you. And then regardless of what kind of connection this is, your intellectual connection will be very, very strong. Like, you just get each other, you understand each other, you challenge each other intellectually, and you have amazing conversations and eye-opening conversations with each other. And I think both of you really prioritize that type of connection, and it's very exciting when you meet someone who can vibe with you on like a mental, intellectual, conversational level. There's something else I wanted to say and I don't remember. Oh, that I was looking at this cauldron and the little witch stirring the cauldron, and just for a moment it felt like a message of them cooking for you or wanting to cook for you, or there could be a dish that they want to introduce to you, especially like if they or their family are from a different country. They may want to prepare you like the dish of their homeland, or you know, or even just like, these are my grandma's famous cookies. Like they might show their love through cooking or sharing food or sharing recipes or something like that, which is a very specific message, but I felt like I wanted to mention that. We do have Libra, the sign of Libra here, and we have the element of air. And I was actually thinking that your intellectual connection feels very airy. So you guys, you could both have air placements, or you could have a lot of placements of the same element. So maybe you have like a fire dominant birth chart and they also have a fire dominant birth chart. Your moons, I just thought of moons trining each other. So your natal moon and their natal moon could trine each other. Which also means they're in the same element. For example, like a Libra moon and a Gemini moon. I wonder if this group, if you're like into astrology, because I usually don't go that in depth with it. Well, I mean, that's not very deep, but you know what I mean. Anyway, this is really mirroring what was going on up here. It's quite similar in that in the 3D, you are inspiring this person a lot, or you will inspire this person a lot when... What was that sound? That was a spooky sound. I don't know what that was. It was outside and it sounded like when a firework goes off and it's like... Whoosh! I don't know what makes that sound. That also kind of makes me think of like a shooting star or a falling star, which shooting stars could also be a sign of your higher selves watching over you. But yes, you are very inspiring to this person, and I even feel like this is them too. The same way they're the dragon who's flying after you, they're also the human who is interested in following your journey. If you haven't met this person yet, your first sort of interaction could literally be them following you on social media, or just approaching you one day and asking, maybe you're reading a book and they're like, what are you reading? Or, oh, you're reading that book? Like, and they're so excited to talk about it because they don't know anyone else who has read that book. But I feel like the way you might meet, if you haven't already, or maybe you did meet this way, is that you're doing something and they're very interested that you're doing it. And more specifically for some, they're very excited that they found someone else who also does this or is also interested in these things. Yeah. Maybe you're wearing like a band t-shirt and they're like, oh my God, you like that band too. You're displaying something or doing something that they're like, oh my God, you're one of my people. and there's a feeling of just excitement and giddiness that they get to now share thoughts with you and discuss things with you. And this thinking woman, it's like they're really just in awe of your mind. And they have the energy of action. Ooh, this is so cool. So I feel like on one hand, this is talking about the potential of your connection, where they have the ability to take action to bring your brilliant ideas to life. Like, you share with them your idea of what you want to do or create or invent or build, and they're like, okay, I got it. And then they run off and they start working on it. Because this is like they're cooking something up. They're putting in the time and the effort. They're like, say no more. And they're off to work on it and make it a reality for you. And I feel like in your friendship or in your relationship, whatever it might be, all you have to do is like mention that you want something or you like something or you're interested in something, and they will like run off and learn about it or look into it or prepare it for you, depending on what it is, which is so sweet. They're just so excited to be a part of your protoplanetary disk, like to be a part of the world that you're creating. And I think you give them the confidence to create their own world. There may be a point in this connection where they are running off to prepare something for you, to work on something, to work on themselves. And it feels like they're pulling away, but it's actually very much the opposite. Because in the 5D, they're following you, they're pursuing you. But in the 3D, the way these beings are facing, it looks like you're pursuing them, or it looks like they're moving away from you. So there might be times where you feel like, oh, they're not interested in me, they're distant, they're pulling away, but actually they're off working on something for you, or they're off working on themselves, so that they can share with you. Or for some, there's a feeling of like they want you to be proud of them or be impressed by them. And now I'm also thinking of That Don't Impress Me Much, if that's what it's called. That don't impress me much. So you got the number, have you got the touch? Which is also Shania Twain. But like, I feel like the point of the song is like, okay, so you're hot, so you have nice things. Like, I don't care. I care about your heart and your soul. And so I feel like they're working on these things to impress you, which you will be impressed, but it's not the most important thing, right? You're like, I think you would want them to know that they're perfect and wonderful and amazing just as they are. And it's like sometimes they might pull away from you for like self-improvement or to work on themselves, which is wonderful, and we want to encourage them to do that. But they might have this weird mental blockage where it's like, I can't, like they can't see you during that time, or they can't reach out to you during that time because they should just be focused on the hustle and they should just be focused on bettering themselves. And it's like, ¿por qué no los dos? Like, anyway, so let's get into your tarot because we want to see what the future energy is going to be. the future between group number 4 and their person. So we have 2 4s coming out at the same time. I'm telling you, repeating 4s, 444, that's your number. So we got number 4 with the Emperor, number 4 with the 4 of Swords. And this is really sweet because these two together, it feels like, because the Emperor feels like mastery and confidence and like being the boss and being accomplished and just being awesome. And it's like the 4 of Swords it's inaction. It's just letting go and just being. And I feel like these together, it's like you don't have to do anything. You don't have to. Okay, I have to go get this deck because it's reminding me of a card from the Divine Abundance Oracle, which is one of my favorite oracles ever. And there's a card in here that is so beautiful. And for a while, I actually had it like up on my wall because I wanted to look at it a lot because I felt like I needed the message. But it is very fitting to this energy. Here it is. And it also has a tiger on it. So like similar vibes. It's worth. You have been worthy to belong to love all along, without any need to improve. In fact, you are love itself. I think it's such a beautiful message, and that's the energy that these 2 cards together are giving me. It's like, relax. You don't need to hustle so hard. You don't need to work so hard. You don't have to, like, self-improvement from a place of feeling like you need to change yourself is quite sad. And I feel like they might fall into that kind of trap sometimes. And I think all you want for them is to know that they're already perfect and worthy of the best things and the highest love just the way they are. And you want to show them that unconditional love. And the way you feel about them having this blockage may also shed light on ways in which that blockage exists within you. So in this timeline, this is the current energy. So I feel like both of you are maybe working on self-worth right now. I also think that you're probably receiving tons of synchronicities about the connection right now. I'm also just thinking, we have Libra energy again. This 4 of Swords is also Libra, and Aries. And Aries and Libra are sister signs. And they represent that axis between the self and others, which may be a duality that is heavy on your mind right now, or on their mind right now, of not losing yourself to, like, not losing yourself to others, basically. One of you might have a tendency, it feels like a Piscean tendency, to kind of lose yourself to the collective, or lose yourself to other people, or like lose your energetic sovereignty, or your sense of self, or your sureness of self. I struggle with this sometimes. I have a ton of Piscean 12th house shit going on in my birth chart, and I am quite impressionable because of that, which is, it's a neutral trait, but it depending on your environment and who you're around, it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. And also, my Aries Libra axis is intercepted, so yeah, I feel like there's some astrology baddies watching this. It's this balance of, how can I connect to others and serve the collective, but still retain my energetic sovereignty and my personal power? And how can I come back to that part of me that generates my worth from within and is not influenced by others or by external factors? I think you're working on quite similar lessons. And that's probably why you're attracted to each other and why your souls decided to go together and tag along. I also think it's interesting that your hand, because this is representing you, looks older and this hand looks younger. Because I do feel like you might be just slightly, just maybe one step ahead in this person's journey than this person's journey, at least when it comes to emotional and spiritual things. So, you know, if you're working on a particular blockage, you might notice that a month later or something, they're working on the exact same thing. We also have the Hierophant. Yeah, so you're definitely learning together and you're definitely helping each other become your highest versions. This is so beautiful. This relationship, this connection, it feels so constructive and just mutually supportive because, and it's so nice that you're working on the same, it's like you're doing the same work in life. Like, for example, working on the same limiting belief or working on the same blockage or kind of analyzing the same patterns at quite similar times. So by the time they've worked on the same thing, it's still fresh in your mind because you just went through it. And then it's like you can kind of convene and talk about your insights and learn from each other's journey. I'm hearing for some of you, it will almost reach a point where, let's say you were doing some healing work and you removed a blockage, and it reaches a point where you can just expect that, okay, in a couple weeks, I'm gonna get a text from my person and they're gonna have worked on the same thing and wanna talk about it. It's super cool. You could have a similar field of study or have a similar major, or on your own time, you could self-study about the same topics just because you're both interested in it. And I do feel like both of you are quite interested in personal growth and self-improvement, and maybe your relationship even starts because of that. For example, maybe you meet at the gym because you're both on a self-improvement journey and trying to get your routine together and trying to focus on your health. And so you bond over that desire to become your best version, and then having to sort of peel that back and realize just because that's how we met, it doesn't mean it's like the basis of our relationship or the basis of our admiration for each other. And it's okay to show each other when we're struggling, or when, like, I guess that life is not all about just getting better and getting ahead, and we don't have anything to prove to each other kind of thing. Then we have the Knight of Crystals, which is the Knight of Pentacles. So from now into the near future, I definitely see you frequently meeting in person. If you're in the same location, like if you're in the same city or relatively close to each other, I do think you're going to see each other in person on a regular basis. You might even meet on a regular schedule. For example, let's meet every Tuesday to study together, or we both go to the same class at night, so I'm gonna see them every Thursday, or you just have planned that you're gonna meet once a month. It might literally be on a regular schedule like that, but even if it's not, there's regular contact, regular meetings. If you do happen to be at a far distance from this person, this would probably be, because it feels more real than just like texting. So maybe it's a video call or something like that, where it really feels like you're together. But yeah, I feel like this represents consistent meetings in your near future. And that you always come out of it feeling good and feeling motivated and feeling better. It's also cool that they're both holding this orb, pondering an orb. Ooh, oh my gosh! Look at this card that just flew out. It's the Four of Wands, which there's a lot of Aries and Taurus happening too. Taurus, Aries, Aries. So those could be relevant placements as well. But yeah, Four of Wands. That feels like union vibes. That feels like wish fulfillment vibes. That feels like happily ever after vibes. I love it. And there's another four. Feeling completely like this Four of Wands, I feel like represents your mastery of it, and now being able to be completely vulnerable with each other and completely at home with each other and coming together in the way you really want to. Something that's coming through is that there may be something that you're wishing will happen. And so every time when you're consistently meeting, you're like, will today be the day? Will today be the day? And it's like this anticipation, and this represents the moment where it finally happens. So let's say this is a romantic relationship and you've been going on regular dates with this person and you really want to kiss them or something. And so every time you're like, is today going to be the day where they kiss me? This represents when they finally do. Or maybe you've been wanting to hear, I love you from this person, or there's a certain invitation that you've been wanting to receive from them, or a certain goal that you've been wanting to reach with them. I feel like this represents the moment where it finally happens. And so all this anticipation has been building up, and this is like the climax and the moment of celebration. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Cups, and we also have the Chariot, and we also have the Six of Swords, and we also have the Four of Cups. Sorry, I feel like I have to mention all of these because Eight of Cups, when I saw this, I was like, okay, there's a moving on happening. Chariot, also moving on. Six of Swords, also moving on. And then the Four of Cups, it's like boredom. So it's kind of cool that there's 4 cups and 8 cups, because it's like if you each had 4, you would be putting them together. And Saturn feels like cycles. So I think you're completing a cycle with them where it's like, okay, I've poured out all my cups to you. I've taught you what I can, and you've taught me what you can, and now it's time to move on to something else. And the Six of Swords is moving on to a more peaceful situation. The Chariot, love that it's a unicorn. It's like embracing your unique self. Kind of looks similar to this action card. Oh, you know what I think this is? It's like they've been following you and they've been taking inspiration from you, and now you're like, okay, let's go this way now. And so now you're gonna follow them and you're gonna take inspiration from them, and it just moves like this, like back and forth. Oh, that's so cute. It reminds me of like when puppies play together and they're like, okay, now I'm gonna chase you, and okay, now you chase me. And puppies are very pure, so I bet both of you have very affectionate and adorable energy to you. Yeah, I'm gonna put these all here. But even Saturn, it feels like you've passed a test. The Hierophant is like, you're studying for the test, and then Saturn says you've passed the test and you've really mastered You've mastered self-worth together, and you've mastered feeling whole and complete together. And you're like, okay, we've accomplished this. We've learned everything we have to learn. Now it's time to move on to the next challenge. And I feel like the next challenge is starting to really manifest your desires into physical reality, which you now have a really strong energetic backbone and energetic sovereignty to go out and do that. And to know that you'll stay committed and you won't waver. You're ready for the next big challenge. Ooh, that is so exciting. So we're gonna take it over to the extended now, where we see the long-term future of this connection. And we will also see significant time frames for the connection based on the current energies. And then we will get a message from your person's 3D self and a message from their higher self. So if that sounds good to you and you'd like to join me in the extended, I'm going to have that link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have a link down below. My tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!